today. My name is Monique Leverington, and you've joined me for a 30-minute practice known as the Mindful Movement Series. And Mindful Movement Series invites you to move with the intention of coming back to the body and to the breath. So sort of allowing ourselves to set aside this time to move in a way that we're feeling the sensations in the body and becoming awake and aware and alert to the sensations as we move and shift our shape and form. So today we've landed on a mat, and from wherever you are, whatever space you're in, just knowing that all you really need today is a mat or a quiet space for you to practice. You might choose to sit on the edge of a blanket to prop yourself up. And if it's comfortable, you can cross your legs like I have for this practice. Or if you're feeling that that's not available today and you wish to extend the legs out, because that's better for you and your body, then feel free to extend the legs out. We will be extending the legs at some point throughout this practice. So this might be a better place for you to be. And if you need a little bit more propping, you could always sit on the edge of a cushion. So I have my cushion here as well. So if you need that in your body, then you can choose to take a cushion to practice with as well. So I'm just going to come back to a seated cross-legged position. And the invitation is to close down the eyes if that feels right for you, or if not, just keeping your eyes open with a soft gaze as we begin to come away from the busyness of the day and just start to tune into the body and the breath in whatever way feels right for you. So as we begin to tune in, just noticing the whole body as it's seated here in this moment. You might notice sensations in the body, perhaps the connection of the sit bones grounding down into the earth. Or maybe the touch of clothing on the body. Or perhaps for you it's the sensations in the body sensations such as tightness or holding or stickiness or grittiness, which could be showing up in the shoulders, the back of the neck, the jaw, perhaps the torso, the lower back, the hips. And just noticing the sensations, and they could be familiar or unfamiliar sensations, pleasant or unpleasant. Not needing to fix them in any way at this point, but just simply sitting and resting with this awareness of what's arising in the body as we come to sit. And then perhaps as we sit here with that expansive awareness of the whole body, the sensations, just noticing them rolling in and rolling away. You might also notice the sensation of the breath as it moves in and out of the body, with the body. So perhaps this is an anchor for you now where you begin to hover your awareness into the breath. Remembering throughout the practice that if anything doesn't feel right or feels risky, that we can always move and shift the shape. There's no need to stay if there's pain or if there's difficulty. We can choose to move away from pain or difficulty and modify the poses, listening to the body, coming back home to the body and taking care moment by moment. There's also an invitation to be curious as to some of the sensations that might feel edgy, a little bit niggly, yet there's still that awareness that it's okay. It's okay to sit with those sensations. Or perhaps it's okay to move away from those sensations. So letting everything arise that comes to the foreground of your awareness, waking up moment to moment. There's no right or wrong. Simply practicing here, watching and observing. And on the next inhale, we're going to introduce some movement as we slowly start to open up the eyes and the eye gaze if the eyes are closed down. And just shift our weight gently in the lower half of the body, just to start to waken up the body. And then we're going to slowly start to take our hands down by our side and reach the right arm up. And as we do so, reach the right arm across the body and then take it back up again. And then wrap the right arm around the back of the body and see what that feels like. Noticing if there's any tightness, and if that's not available, you might just loosely wrap it around the back. Just seeing where that mobility or where the range is in your body, where you can take the arm and slide it across the back. And then we're going to lift the opposite arm up and over. Stretch it across the body. And then slowly coming back and letting that slide and glide behind the back. So both arms are just sliding behind the back now, perhaps even clasping the wrists behind the back and noticing how it feels to be in this posture. Taking your time here to just observe the sensations. Noticing if there's any resistance or any discomfort or anything that doesn't feel welcoming in the body at this point in time, and how that feels. Perhaps the body is feeling at ease with this posture. There's no particular sensation other than noticing the shape that's been formed. And then letting the arms relax. And as you take the arms behind, I'm going to take them out to the side. Nice big in-breath. And then reach them forward. And as you reach them forward, see if we can interlace the hands. And then press through the palms, flipping the palms forward. And then a slow twist across the torso in this movement. So just moving gently across the torso from left to right. Just taking your time to move in a way that feels connected. Move that awareness coming back into the body. And then slowly bringing it back to the center and then dropping the hands behind the back of the head. And as you do so, just becoming aware of that stability and that support behind the back of the head. Take the shoulders up around the ears and then take a big exhale and see if we can soften any resistance in the upper body through the exhale. And you might like to do this a few more times, inhaling and then exhaling the resistance and letting go of any tightness or tension if there is anything there to be felt. Inhaling and then slowly exhaling again. And then letting the hands come back down towards the ground. And slowly letting the fingertips glide by your side. We're going to extend right leg. And as we extend the right leg here, we'll just keep the left foot and the left knee in, tucked in. So the left knee is bent and the left foot is hugging in towards that right thigh. And you might notice that if your knee is up quite high today, that a a little bit of a cushion could be a nice option to tuck that under, or a blanket if that feels better for you. And from here, we're going to take a nice sweeping motion with the arms again, inhaling, taking them to wherever is comfortable for you. And then as we exhale, we're going to explore the back of that leg. Inhale, reach up. And then move forward again. Exhale, push forward. So just noticing how that feels. And if there is tightness or tension in the back of the knee, perhaps it's better to bend the right leg in through the knee joint, just to ease or alleviate some of that tension. If it feels safe, it feels okay to be here with that sensation, then let's explore it together in whatever way is best for you and your body. And then slowly coming back up, we're going to take our hands down by our side and just stop and pause. So rather than having a very active, alive, alert leg, perhaps just let the feet dangle and relax. And then we're just going to move forward in our body shape and move into any sensation here. So just letting the body hang, experiencing a real sort of relaxed sensation here where we're moving into a very gentle stretch. And just feeling our way into the body, observing what's happening in this moment. If it's not safe to hang your head, then perhaps you might want to keep it up, alive, alert and erect. Or if it feels okay to hang the head, perhaps that's a sensation you wish to explore. Just stretching out through any tension and tightness in through the back of the neck muscles. So noticing here what's best for you. I'm just going to stop and pause here for another minute or so. So allowing this time, this opportunity to explore the range of sensations as they arise. Visiting the sensations in your body. Noticing how they shift and change with awareness. You might also notice that the mind is wandering away to thoughts or planning, remembering, thinking, worrying. That's what minds do. So we just observe the shift without needing to fix or to judge. Simply applying a kindly and calm attitude to this practice. So really allowing the experience to unfold just as it is. Moment by moment, just pausing, observing, shifting and moving. On the next in-breath, we're going to slowly come back and sit back into the sit bones. And let our spine stack one vertebra at a time, letting the head be the very last thing that rolls up. And just taking in all those sensations as you come back to the center of the body. Come back into that tall, alive, alert spine. And then gently starting to extend the left leg out. Shift the weight. Shift your gait here, so just sort of moving and jiggling and rocking and rolling from left to right until you can start to move into the opposite leg now. So just dropping your right foot in towards the thigh now. And noticing if there's a change in sensation, if it feels similar or maybe a little bit different. Noticing the knee and how it feels to be here, and perhaps if in your body you need a little bit of support because the hip's feeling a little bit tight or gnarly, then always take the option to support yourself in your practice or just to notice the sensation. So from here we're going to explore that range of movement again, the sensations that come with that movement. So taking the arms up, a nice big inhale. And then pushing along the length of the leg if it feels right for you. You can choose how deep you want to go. There's no need to go right down towards the knee. Not all of us can move in towards the knee because our bodies are unique. Our shapes are different. Just taking what you need and recognizing where your body is today. And again, bringing this attitude of non-judging. Just letting all arise and see how it feels to be here. Going slower or going faster, it's your practice. So exploring what's here for you, the variations of the shapes, and just noticing how the mindful movement leads and guides your awareness. Where your awareness rests on when you move. What are you feeling? What's here for you now? Maybe some echo of thoughts or emotions might be present as well. So allowing everything to unfold without any need to change or shift it. And then slowly in your own time pausing here, leaning in towards or leaning away from your choice, your practice, and just letting the leg be as relaxed as possible now. Recognizing where you need to be, using the props as you need to in order to move into the posture of the shape. There's no right or wrong here on how you look. We're doing a sort of gaining some access, some connection into sensation. So it might be the lower back that you're feeling this, the hips, the mid-back, the neck muscles, depending on how you formed your shape today. Are you using this opportunity to explore whatever is arising? Recognizing when there is pause to move away because there's riskiness, sharp shooting pain, change, and be the master of your own sensation, your body, acknowledging and taking care of your needs. So staying just a little bit longer if it's available. Expanding your awareness into the whole body and just noticing the sensations here, rising and falling, much like the breath. And then very gently we're going to walk our hands back. And just find the lower back and the lower spine, stacking mid-back, upper back, and then finally the head and neck will rise. And letting go of any props, any need of using the props for the moment as we come into the butterfly pose. So we're just going to take the soles of the feet together and just gently ease and rock that out, that posture. And then coming around onto the hands and knees and using your blanket still. So if you have your blanket handy, you might find, or a pillow that you might find be handy to have as we come into the next posture. So just taking a moment to come around onto the hands and knees. And finding your way into a child's pose. So I'm going to take the knees out to wherever it's comfortable for you today and sit back to where it's comfortable. So for some of us, our buttocks may not reach the back of the heels because our body is unique and different. So just noticing that my shape might look very different to yours, and that's perfectly okay. I'm going to take a little bit of a child's pose, coming down into a kneeling position and choosing where you need to be in this position. So the forehead can come down onto the forearms, or you can extend the arms out if that feels better for you. But just noting again what you need in your body. Coming down to the earth and letting the earth support you fully. And just taking your time to notice this shape and how it feels in your body. Just asking perhaps, what's here for me now? Noticing again if the mind has shifted and changed its shape to thoughts, or begun to remember, or perhaps place the thoughts to worrying or planning. There's no right or wrong, again, just noting that the mind will wander. That is part of our humanness. It's part of who we are. We have this choice to come back to the practice, back to the awareness, oneness, just being here now with the body and the breath. So whenever you're ready to come back, just checking in and coming back when you're ready. And then from here we're going to slowly lift our head off the ground and then come up into all fours and wiggle out through the back of the body. Let the head hang, and then just let everything sort of come nice, soft and floppy with no real structure in through the body. See how that feels in the wrists and the hands. And then on the next in-breath, we're going to enliven and alert all the muscles of the body. So I'm going to really reach up through the back of the shoulders, pull the belly back to the back of the body, and hunch and round through the upper spine. And then on your exhale, just slowly let that all unravel. Let the belly drop down to earth. Let the lower back scoop and open the eye gaze forward. So just feeling that in your own body. It's just like flossing the spine a little bit. So we're just sort of rocking up and rounding through the spine. If that feels all right for you, letting your head and your eye gaze soften towards the ground. And then going in the opposite direction. So just feeling this movement and taking this movement in however it feels best for you. Just noticing what it's like to reach up into the spine and then to let the spine curve and fall. A few more times, just doing this in your own time and space with your own awareness here, hovering here onto the sensations. Noticing what it feels like to lift and lower through the spine. And then coming down to the ground, and if it's available, coming all the way down onto the belly. So hopefully that's feeling okay for you today. And just wiggling out through the hips as we come into this last shape that we're forming for today's practice. I want to come down all the way to the ground, and note if you do like to have a little bit of support again or something to nestle into, you could have your blanket close by. I'm going to take a prayer pose, so we're going to clasp the hands together and let the legs fall out to a comfortable space. And just really loosen up through the hips and juice up through the hips. Let the hips and the belly relax as much as it can down onto the floor. So this next pose is not designed to be an active pose where we're squeezing our buttocks on and squeezing our lower belly and lower back. We're just sort of easing and softening without that resistance here. So the intention of this pose is to very much just sort of let go and let be in this pose. If you find that coming up into a prayer pose is not available today, then maybe this is where you need to be, with the arms and the forearms down on the ground, the elbows connecting into the ground, and then maybe making a little castle with the hands where we stack the hands one on top of the other and let the head float down. Or you might pop a cushion underneath your head. That could be a nice option as well. And this might be enough for you to find a little lower back bend. So there's two options today to come into this idea of this sort of Sphinx looking like pose. When the feet are relaxed on the floor and the legs are not active at the moment and the bottom muscles are not too squeezy, they're just relaxing, and the lower back just feels a little back bend here, a little dip. And pausing here for a few minutes just to explore the sensations in through the head and neck, and perhaps in through the back of the spine, the mid-back and the lower back. So we are going to nod yes, no, and just take notice of all the sensations that are here. Often there's a fair bit of sensation in the upper body, so just very gently inquiring here as to what's happening today in the upper body. And remember your option to stay down low here if it's not right for you to be up in the higher position, so taking care of your needs. We'll do 2 different variations here so you can. And then choosing to bring your head back to wherever is best for you, and just taking notice of the shoulders, if there's holding and tightness in the shoulders, if the shoulders are squeezing and crunching, what's happening in the upper body today. And noticing here if there's any resistance to the movement, and perhaps with our awareness if there is any softening to the resistance. If not, then just allowing that to be as it is. And then sort of seeing where your head and neck need to be at this point for the next minute or so. So you might choose to let your head dangle because that feels like a nice place to be. It's easeful, it's not too tensioning or tight. Well, there might be tightness here, but it's safe enough and it feels okay to explore this sensation in your head and neck. Or perhaps you're lifting your head and neck and opening through the throat and just stopping here. So choosing what's best for you today, or somewhere in between. And just taking a moment again to explore with your awareness all the sensations that are arising here in the body. Allow your breath to flow with the attention. So noticing the breath and waking up to the breath in the body now. And then just taking a moment to bring your awareness back again into the room, into the shape. And then we're gently going to ease out of that shape. So we do whatever we need to let go of that little back bend. Perhaps a cat-cow again, sort of that rolling sensation through the back could be an option. Or you might just wish to rest back into this nice little cocoon here, letting the head come down. So whatever feels best for you again. And then from here, we're going to slowly start to make our way back up into a seated position. Very gently coming back. Or you might choose to come into a lying position, whatever's best for you today. I'm going to leave that up to you. So coming back into your seat. And perhaps again inviting an intention to either close down the eyes, or if it doesn't feel right to close the eyes, the option to keep them open with a soft gaze. And just finishing off with some settling breath work. So you're going to start to take the arms out to the side. Nice big inhale. Notice what it feels like to swing the arms like a pendulum, and then slowly drop the hands down through the center. Exhaling and diving down. And then opening with your breath again, inhaling, reaching. And then diving down, exhaling. Let's do this 5 more times with the rhythm of our breath. Letting the breath guide the movement. Just noticing how it feels to be with the body and the breath, moving together as one. It's like to move your attention and your focus onto the breath, onto the body. Awakening. Curiosity and kindness in this present moment, this awareness. Watching. Observing how each moment unfolds. And then slowly bring the attention back down into the base of the body where the sit bones connect down into the earth. And we're just going to move very fluently and freely now. So an invitation to just take on some movement that feels good in your body. You can jiggle it out, shake it out, tap it out. Whatever feels good for you. So just moving, shifting, changing the shape, waking up the body to the sensations. Taking on whatever shape or form comes to mind, whatever feels good in your body. So really letting your body choose here how it wishes to move. Responding to sensations. Responding to how the body is feeling. And then coming back very gently to the center, coming back into the seated position with that awareness. Bring your attention back onto the whole body and expanding that awareness into the whole body. And just noticing how the body feels for you in this moment. Asking what's here for me now. Perhaps noticing some tingling, temperature, warmth, coolness. Maybe noticing some tightness or tension in the shoulders, or holding some effort through the spine as you lift in your seat. And then slowly begin to awaken to the surroundings, so opening the eyes and drinking in the colours, shades, shadows. And taking a moment just to pause here, acknowledging the time that you've spent with your mind and body and breath. Congratulating yourself for being here for 30 minutes, practicing with awareness.